Are you one of those guys over 50 still sticking to the same light weights every workout and wondering why you're not building any muscle? Come on, my friend, let's be truthful. So you've heard the rumor that light weights builds muscle and you recognize the benefits. Lower risk of joint strain and injury. So you've earmarked some exercises. You know the rep range you're going to use. And most of all, you know the weight. But you're wondering, you've been this consistent week in, week out. But the muscle gods are not blessing you with any additional gains. I'm Simon H, Muscle After 50 coach, and naturally jacked 54-year-old. Now, if you're one of these guys who've been consistently and diligently hitting that gym, doing your lightweight training, but you're not getting those gains, I'm going to show you a couple of things that you can do to get yourself on the right track. Now, here's the problem. Many older adults turn to light weights for muscle building. However, the misconception that light weights require less attention to progression can be misleading. Lifters might think that since they are not lifting heavy, they don't need to challenge their muscles further. The assumption can lead to a lack of progress and eventually cause frustration as they don't see the desired results. This is why we can often make this mistake. Being 50 and over, we can often prioritize safety and joint health, which can lead to choosing light weights for building muscle. While this is a wise decision, it can sometimes lead to complacency. The fear of injury might discourage us from increasing the weight from time to time and challenging ourselves. Plus, the comfort of that familiar routine might make us resilient to change. Now, this is the mindset that can have us inadvertently sabotaging results and staying stagnated, as the muscles are no longer being challenged to grow stronger. So what's the answer? Progressive overload, my friend. Progressive overload is a fundamental principle in strength training that involves gradually increasing the stress placed on the muscle during exercise. Now, this stress prompts muscles to adapt, grow, and become stronger. Now, when lifters, especially those over 50, neglect progressive overload, they may fall into the trap of maintaining that same weight, repetition, or intensity over an extended period. This common mistake can lead to stagnation in muscle growth and strength gains, making workouts less effective over time. Now, if you've been training for less than 12 months, progressive overload is of less importance, and that's simply because you're in that honeymoon stage where those newbie muscle gains comes really easy. But if you've been training for more than 12 months consistently, progressive overload is hugely important for muscle growth. But as important as progressive overload is intensity. See, you can't use one without the other. When it comes to intensity, during sets of light load strength training, vast parts of the set involves no recruitment of the muscle fibers responsible for muscle growth. It's only the last 5 repetitions to failure that are responsible for stimulating that muscle growth. So if at this point you're thinking, wow, I don't want to look like you, Simon. I just want to build a little bit of muscle for longevity and vitality. So when I get older, I can still do the things I want to do and I still got that strength and I look good. Well, if you're using light weights and you've been using them for well over a year, you really need to add some progressive overload and challenge yourself. So here are 2 ways that you can incorporate it into your routine in a safe manner. So the most common way of incorporating progressive overload is to use heavier weights. Okay, here's a great way of doing it in a safe manner. You're going to have to do a few things first. So the first thing you may have to do is you may have to look at the calendar and block off a 4 or 5 week period. Now, it's in that period that we're going to be starting here and hopefully ending with some progression in weight and eventually size. Now, in order for that to happen, a couple more things are going to have to take place. The second thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to document each and every workout. Now, you might be saying to me, oh, I don't see other people documenting their workout. Great, don't worry about them. They probably got the brain of an elephant. But in case you haven't, that paper trail and that workout log, that's your paperback training partner who knows your deepest secrets. He knows what you did last week. He knows what you should be doing this week. And it's also that motivation that you can look at that and say to yourself, I did that last week. I want to do this week. Now, once you've got those two bits in thing, the third part of the jigsaw puzzle is to choose a rep range. Now, what do I mean? Well, most people are driven by a set number in their head. Example, I want to do 20 repetitions. So I'm only focused on 20 repetitions. I'm not focused on anything more, but the problem with that is that at some point, 20 repetitions with the same weight you've been using for weeks becomes really easy. Now, remember I said earlier, it's those last 5 repetitions to failure. Not 5 repetitions in general, but 5 repetitions to failure. So what do I mean to failure? Well, if you're struggling on 15, 16, 17, and you get your way all the way to 20, and on that 20 you're really struggling, that's what I mean by those 5 repetitions to failure. Not 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, all right, John, 20. No, not that sort of thing. No, we want to be doing those last 5 reps that are something that you're going to have to think and grind your teeth and get into it. Those are the repetitions that go towards stimulating muscle growth. Now we've got that in play, we're good to go. So what we want to do on week 1, we'll choose a weight. Oh, sorry, let's go back. We need our exercises. Very important that you choose a set of exercises and you stick to them. It's the only thing I want you to do is stick to those things like glue for those 5 weeks. No good changing them because you can't chart progression by changing exercises every week. You need to stick to the same exercises so that you can see progression. When your muscles meet that exercise next week and they've had time to recover, they want to be able to say, I can use that weight next week and more. I want to be in a position to be able to push more. So you're going to stick to those exercises. On week 1, you'll pick a weight and say now we've got that rep range of 15 to 20 reps. You pick a weight and on week 1, you did 17 reps. Did 17 reps, you think to yourself, feeling good. Week 2, you might want to add a couple of pounds. You don't have to add a couple of pounds every week, because I'm going to show you another way of getting progressive overload without having to increase the weight. But over that 5-week period, you want to at least have up the weight a few times and shown a bit of balls and done some heavier weights. We're still in the lightweight chart because we still got that rep range of 15 to 20. Now, if you're using a weight and you're done at 10, 11, that weight's too heavy. So then the following week, you might need to drop it a few pounds so you fall within that rep range. Or you might get to 20 and think, I've still got some reps in the tank. I've still got 4 or 5 reps in the tank. That's a sign you're going to need to increase the weight. Now, that's the first way you're going to incorporate progressive overload. Now, the second way that you're going to incorporate progressive overload is we're using that rep range. Week 1, you might decide, week 1 you've done 15, 16, 17, 18 reps, let's say. And on week 2, you think to yourself, I'm going to go up a couple of pounds. So you go up a couple of pounds and you mark that down in your book. And you've managed to do 16 repetitions. Now what I would do, I've got up to 20 repetitions to play with. Next week, instead of adding or increasing the weight, I'm going to go for one extra repetition. So I may have done 16 reps, but deep down inside me, I probably, if I really applied myself, could have got that extra rep. That's what you're gonna do on the next workout. So now you don't have to keep using heavier weights. You can challenge yourself by doing an extra repetition. There are two great ways of using progressive overload. Okay, admittedly, for some, progressive overload may seem scary. But as long as you use some of the tips that I've shown you and you apply yourself, use great form, and just chart your own progress, not somebody else's, but your own progress, you'll be fine. Now, I've got another way that I incorporate progressive overload, but I'm going to show you that in another video. And this way, I've been training with this technique for the last 3 years, and it's helped me no end when it's come to looking after my joints, my tendons, and my ligaments. But if you want to see that, I'm going to be dropping that video in a few weeks' time. But you need to subscribe. If you're not a subscriber and you have not clicked on that notification bell, you will have no idea when I'm dropping the good stuff, because I'm always dropping the good stuff when it comes to Muscle Over 50. So before you forget, while I'm chitter-chattering away now, press subscribe and click that notification bell, so you'll be informed the next time I drop the good stuff for Muscle Over 50. Anyway, I'm in a rush, so if you like this video as much as I love making it, click the like, and I will see you on the next bout of Muscle After 50. I've been drinking so much water, I've got to go to the toilet. Peace.